Mainland FM Lobode. My name is Dolapo Martins. This is Mainland FM 98.3.
Things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join ᴏᴜᴛᴜ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial. Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you roommates as we discuss the situations.
Oga Police, no worry, I see you. You know you can do the right thing, right? You know you can do without that bribe. You know you don't even have to harass that young man because he is properly dressed. And you think he's a Yahoo boy? You don't even have to assault that citizen whom you have sworn an oath to protect. Yes, we understand that the pay is not good enough to take you home. That you are still wearing a uniform that you bought with your own money 5 years ago. It's no news that the government has not done enough by you. We feel your pain and we wish things could be different as we continue to call on government to wake up to their responsibilities. We want the police to be our friends, just as it is boldly stated across the various police stations nationwide. And from Mainland 98.3 FM, we implore you to do better. We love you and we support you always.
Us on all our social media platforms on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, on Twitter at Mainland FM. We are the sound of Lagos.
things seem anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
As elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions, constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing, we are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join ᴏᴜᴛᴜ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you roommates as we discuss the situations.
A very good evening to you. Welcome to the Situation Room, live on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. I want to trust that your day is going well. More importantly, this time where almost about the entire country is experiencing extreme heat. And I've been running this campaign since last year, December. Please do everything within your capacity to make sure you keep yourself absolutely hydrated. Make sure you drink a lot of water. The weather is super hot, and for people that don't believe in climate change conversation, for those people that don't believe in the depletion of the ozone layer, for those people that don't think that the air we breathe is absolutely polluted, especially when you have a cosmopolitan city like Lagos, then I'm sure you are feeling the effect right now. I was sleeping the early hours of this morning around 2:30 or thereabouts. I just heard my neighbor's generator. I said, my neighbor does not on gen even during the day. What happened during the night? So when I was coming to the work, to the office today, I asked, I said, okay, why did you? He said he'd want to kill him. I said, okay, it's understandable. So please do whatever you can within your capacity to make sure that you have enough water in your system. At this crucial period, reduce your intake of alcohol and or caffeine, related substance. Make sure that you drink a lot of water, because you'll be surprised that what drinking water will save you than when you fall sick and you go to the hospital. It will be something different. Please, I'm appealing to you on behalf of every one of us on Mainland FM. Try to keep yourself as hydrated as possible. You can't afford to get dehydrated at this period. It's dangerous. Okay. Before we get into the conversation today, I have a message for my friends and my good people from the southeastern part of this country, the land of the rising sun, the land that there's no way you want to talk about the political, economical, or whatever it is you want to talk. Nnamdi Azikiwe, Anthony Enaro played in making sure that this country, get independent in 1960. From being the first prime minister to being one of the, campaigners for independence for this country, even to the point of moving the motion of independence. These are people that are the world had ever seen. I'm talking about Chinua Achebe. Is from that axis who have graced this country, still gracing this country, from the land of the rising sun. But guess what? The land is gradually becoming desolate. The land is gradually moving on the path of self-destruct. And this message is for everyone from the southeast. If you're listening to me today or you're streaming live on our social media platform, you should know that you're making your own land desolate yourself. The killings that cut across, irrespective of your gender, irrespective of your age, irrespective of your social status, is a mess. And whether we like it or not, you cannot also talk about the growth of this country and not talk about the economic impact of the southeastern part of this country. So it's an appeal to you. Whether there is agitation for self-association, either there's agitation for end of marginalization, the most important thing is that the people in that region need to stay alive. And this message is for the young, the old, the mothers, the fathers, the boys and the girls that find joy in making sure that that axis or that region of the country don't make progress. You're toiling with your future, and then you're gradually driving yourself into self-destruct. The country would make progress. Everybody would move on, but the scar and the pain that has left or that will be left behind will probably not, fade off. Remember, we're still talking about the civil war at every single instance, where over 1 million Igbos were reportedly killed. And you look at what is going on in the southeast right now, the killings, the kidnappings, and the question is this: ask yourself, the people that usually find joy in traveling from every part of the country, every part of the world to the southeast to celebrate Christmas and New Year, How many of them came home the last time out because they don't feel safe even in their own state? A lot of the billionaires have abandoned their ancestral homes because they can't go home at the end of the year. For this country to make progress, we must respect each other's beliefs, irrespective of whatever side of the law or whatever side of the political loyalty we seems to sell. It's an appeal to the people from the southeast. Please, let's make peace. Let's end these needless killings and waste of lives and properties, the kidnappings, whether it is unknown gunmen, whether it is whatever form it comes. We need peace in the southeast, and we need peace in Nigeria. My name is Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ Mᴜɪᴜ. If you're tuning in for the first time, I welcome you to this show. We run it every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. And boy, oh boy, it's going to be an amazing time on the show today. I talked about who my guest is today. On the turn of 5 o'clock, I would open the phone lines. And I have a feeling that the debate is going to be super engaging. My guest is here on the show today. And today on the show, we're going to be looking at Lagos through the ages, the challenges and prospects of an imagined cosmopolitan state like Lagos. Now, let me take you through this quick story. Before I bring on my guest, he's live in the studio, by the way, so we're not doing phone conversation today. If you look at the history of Lagos pre-colonial era, Lagos had always been at the point where maybe the wrong side of humanity had been perpetrated. I'm talking about being a channel for slave trade. But over time, Lagos had evolved to be not just the fastest growing economy in the world, the 5th largest economy in Africa, and that is the economy of the state. Lagos had evolved through the ashes, through its pain. I can't forget. The 31st of January 2001, the unfortunate bomb blast at the military cantonment at the Keja here. Remember also the unfortunate plane crash that happened at the slum somewhere around Ejigbo. These are moments that have defined the growth and the existence of Lagos as a state, the commercial nerve center of the country, the former federal capital territory of this country. Is a state that had brought up people of timber and caliber, like they always say, and more importantly, the current president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the 6th largest nation in the world, the largest black nation in the world, the largest democracy in Africa, is also from this state. So we'll go through the ranks and the files of the growth and the process of Lagos. And also in the line of doing that, we touch the political part of Lagos, and whether you like it or not. Since 13th of January, when the former Speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa, was impeached, it's been from one political story to the other. Yesterday, we saw the charade that went on at the Lagos State House of Assembly when the DSS reportedly shut down the chamber. At the end of the day, Madam Speaker, Right Honorable Lasbat Miranda, eventually presided over an emotionally laden sitting. I saw videos of the speaker in tears, whether it's a tear of regret or a tears of the solidarity and the support that she's gotten from her colleagues. The next couple of days will tell. I also saw, by the way, the video of this impeached speaker, showing the people that matters that, hey, I can't be speaker for 9 years. I won't be in the House of Assembly since 2003. And you're going to throw me away like that. Well, there are reports that Right Honorable Obasa now has, also taken his case to court, challenging the constitutionality and the legality of his impeachment. There's a lot to talk about on the show today. But we're not going to focus on the political side of Lagos. We're going to focus on the growth, kind of like an appraisal of the last almost 6 years of the administration of His Excellency Governor Babajide Olusola Sanwo-Olu, the growth in Lagos being the model of development for other states. My guest today is Otumba Bestman Jumbo Nze. Now, I'm sure you know where it came from, but of course, it will interest you to know that he's a title chief. He's a son of the soil, and maybe a bit more Lagosian than even some of us that pick proud Yoruba. Otumba, it's an amazing reason. It's an amazing afternoon, rather. And it's good to have you join us on the show. First off, Happy New Year. I'm seeing you for the first time this year. You're coming to the station for the first time this year. And I must admit, just like I told you downstairs, even like I say Nigeria no reach your side. It's good to have you join us on the show, by the way. My best man is the founder of Team Nigeria for Change and the publisher of the very much, acclaimed Ikomi magazine. Good afternoon. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon and Happy New Year. It's always a pleasure being with you, and I know today will not be an exception.
And when I posted your flyer I mean, surprisingly, even people I didn't expect would know you. Like, where you see this man? Oh, where this man? And this man is hard to find. How do you get him to your show? And I'm like, when the soup is sweet, the ingredient will have to find itself out. Welcome once again.
Thank you very much.
Where do we start from? And there's a lot that we're going to discuss on the show today. And let's go through Lagos itself. Maybe at some point we'll talk about the political side of it. The last 6 years in Lagos, well, a lot of people had said that Lagos can run on autopilot because there's a template that focuses on development and welfareism in Lagos. Yes, Lagos got its own problems, and we're going to talk about one of those problems, which is the menace of agbiros in Lagos. Well, we'll put it to one side, but Otumba, what have been that thing that stands Lagos out? Immediately after there was where restriction on interstate movement was relaxed after COVID, the number of people that came into Lagos for greener pasture is almost ×8 of what usually come in. I remember I was watching an interview by the Honorable Commissioner for Information, that's Honorable Omotosho, and he was talking about the fact that, do you know how many people come into Lagos every day? What it is about Lagos, and why is Lagos what it is today?
I like taking my analysis and doing my discourse. I'm a proud Nigerian. I'm a proud Lagosian. So, pardon my mixture of language, of use of language. So it's going to make it flow. Lagos, 괶ᴜ
This is Lagos.
Called Lagos. This is Lagos, and Lagos is a place where you say Lagos is a big port. Yorubas will come there, they will get filled. The Hausas will come, they get filled. The Igbos, the South, the Jaw, different people come to Lagos. Now, it's even taking another dimension. If you notice in the last 1 year, the number of foreign diplomats that have come to meet with Governor Babájídé Sanwó-Olú almost every other week. Canadian, British, French, different people. Now they are saying something in Lagos, the investment opportunities in Lagos, and they want to take advantage of it. Lagos is about the smallest state in Nigeria landmass, yet the most populated. Lagos is the 6th largest. Are you sure it's not even the 5th largest economy in Africa right now? We need to revisit that. I think it's about 5th now. So when you look at that, and the strongest thing about Lagos is the fact that Lagos does not only give return on investment, Lagos will give you protection of investment. So, because in economic terms now, in business, when you're setting up industries, setting up a business, it is not only about return on investment anymore.
The security of that investment.
Protection of investment, which Lagos will offer you. It's one of the safest states in Nigeria, whether we like it or not. And the speed at which Lagos is growing is enough attraction for any forward-looking businessman, for anybody who is invested in human capital issues, human capital businesses. Lagos is the place to be.
Well, thank you for setting that template. Today on the show, we're going to look at two sides to this coin: the challenges of Lagos, and then the prospect that the state holds. And you talked about the population explosion in Lagos, and whether you like it or not, you don't need the census or the national head count to tell you. Just stay at the Beggar Bridge and then look at the truckloads of people that come into Lagos. Some of them on capture, some of them you don't even know their destination. Some of them don't even have destination. They just found themselves in Lagos because they know that one way or the other, Lagos will always create its own path to your greatness. Now, we're talking about a cosmopolitan state that is trying to rise through the economic challenges that Africa is also being bedeviled with, public infrastructure. Sometimes the population explosion does not even afford you to plan properly. For instance, you are making plans that, okay, this year maybe 100,000, 200,000 more people will come into Lagos for the entire year. And by March, April, you find out that more than double of that estimate is already in Lagos. People come into Lagos, they barely go back out. What has been the most challenging thing for the evolution of Lagos into that cosmopolitan drive that it's been yearning for?
whether we like it or not, one major challenge that every development faces is funds. A lot of people make the mistake of thinking Lagos is that rich. The richer you are, the more challenges you have. And for every time you're rising, your challenges, for every time you're growing economically, your challenges also will grow commensurately, if not even more. But you see, I noticed one thing. If you and I are going to look at this again, like we said after COVID, the WG SOᴜnSAᴘᴜ government seem to make their projections, taking into consideration what you just talked about now, which is you plan for 100, before you know 250, 300 in Lagos. I think the government of Sanwo-Olu will have realistically, we're planning for 200, but we'll make provision for 400. Or else would have been overwhelmed. This government would have been overwhelmed. But if in the last 1 month, he has inaugurated 29 roads and bridges, and he's going to inaugurate another 18 within the next 1 month, that goes to somebody's thinking. If in the next 1 month, he's going to deliver 13 new schools, it shows the man is planning. If under budget, there have been serious work on what we call the new Lagos, taking advantage of the Ekpe axis, which will house the new airports. Of course, we have the seaports, we have the Dangotes there, and the massive infrastructure development going on there. It just goes to show a city ready for the mega status is about to attain. Yeah, we say mega city, but we know it's just a matter of time before the manifestation of that mega city status at Lagos. And so I think Lagos is aware. But definitely the challenges will be, when you also have a mass influx of people who are not screened. I'll give an example. There was a time, like you said, beggar. I was just there around that axis on a research, and I found out at a point the trucks bringing in people into Lagos were bringing them into Lagos. But we noticed something that period that I did my research. They would drop them by the long bridge. And those guys would hold their nylons.
And they start finding their ways.
And walking into Lagos. Now, these are people that are coming into Lagos without destination. Of course, some of them also have where they are going to, like an IDP, where the people are going to receive them. And within a month, 2 or 3,
they have a
they are given bikes to start running, and they constitute a menace and a threat to the community. That's a challenge. But you see, Lagos, I keep saying that from the time of Fashola, I think Lagos prepared for this day, but it was taken to a different level under WG SOᴜnSAᴘᴜ.
Okay, I'm sure a lot of people listening right now are eager to call in, but calm down. The phone line is buzzing. That's why I said what I said. Now, Otoma, you talked about that face of Lagos, what it used to be, and the drive to be cosmopolitan, but they come with their challenges. According to the Debt Management Office, for the final quarter of 2024, Lagos is the most indebted state in Nigeria. In fact, the debt profile is 1.043 trillion in domestic debt. Lagos generates a lot of money. There's allocation also coming in. Can you put side by side this huge amount of money coming into Lagos with the level of development that we have in Lagos?
Yes, I will, because as we were talking, I was just looking at the debt profile of the United States of America.
The US is the most indebted country in the
world. But you could see with matching developments. The same way you look at Lagos. I just mentioned some things to you now. Within the last 1 month, 29 roads and bridges, and another 18 roads to be commissioned. The waterways are working. Lagos now have its own, of course, I think it was federal government that gave the state power to generate electricity, which Lagos is massively working on right now. We're talking of a new. I came back from Dubai and I saw a new Dubai coming up, and I was like, "What? A new Dubai? The one we have seemed to be beautiful, but because of the challenge of what the Saudis are doing, what Turkey is doing, UAE is building a new Dubai. The same way Lagos projecting into the future, they're building a new Lagos along the Ekpe axis, and we see Lagos turn into a massive construction site. Definitely, it's not everybody that would agree. Definitely, we still can't rule out leakages, wastages in some area, which is human. But with the depth profile of Lagos and the income generation ability of Lagos, with the infrastructures we're seeing coming up, there's no cause for panic. I think Lagos is good to go.
Okay. In every part of the country, people see Lagos as the El Dorado. I mean, you go to Kano and you identify that, oh, you're a Lagos boy. They see Lagos as, the peak of it. But the people in Lagos, do they see Lagos as same? And this is what I mean. There are still reported cases of traffic robbery on the 3rd Mainland Bridge. It happens a lot of times. There are still cases of burglary and stealing going in even at some major cosmopolitan areas in Lagos. Is it that Lagosians are not enjoying or seeing what outsiders are seeing, or Lagosians actually feeling the real challenges of insecurity in Lagos?
Unfortunately, I will tell you, you are not right on this. What do I mean? We also carried out some research recently. I found out hardly, I didn't say never, I didn't say that it stopped totally. Hardly would you have burglary and stealing anymore. When you and I were much younger, or just some years back, it was a common thing for robbers to come into your house. But now, hardly do you have robbery in terms of breakages into homes anymore. One of the reasons was the cashless policy. Then there used to be money in people's homes.
The traders take money homes.
To a large extent, it has reduced, so it affected the issue of burglary and stealing.
Now only food you go see for us if you
know, because even the risk will not be worth it. Now, we also now have the enhanced security, security budget of the states. For every time you see the state equipping the policemen, neighborhood watch, what we call alternative security, where you use even the miscreants in the area to police their areas. Stealing is there, which you and I know people can do some funny things. But the robberies that you and I used to know, except somebody wants to lie, has reduced drastically. At the point, there was traffic robbery. Every time you see them break the glass, snatch things, and the state noticed. It has not stopped totally, but it has reduced drastically because the same boys, some of them got rehabilitated into the state structure. The same boys in their various areas are the ones now checking those traffic. I have my records and I'm involved. Now, they are the ones deployed in their own areas to check those things. Like I said, you cannot rule out this thing in one day. Even the menace of area, but if we have to be honest and truthful with ourselves, Lagos used to be the hotbed of Agberoism, as we call it. In recent time, most of those boys are engaged in other things now. They are still there, but it is not the way it used to be. So, much as you and I are Oliver, I am also Oliver.
We ask for more.
We must acknowledge where we have results, where we have improvements, and where developments have taken place.
Okay. Now, let's put this to one side. We're going to still talk about the prospect, the possibilities that the new Lagos that you're talking about offers every one of us. But let's talk about politics a little bit. Well, Otumba, I know very well that where you stand in the political conversation in Lagos is obviously, I mean, it's about progress and development, and probably, understanding what the governor has in plans. But on the 13th of January, something absolutely significant happened in Lagos. That is the impeachment of Right Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. And once that was done,
removal.
Yes, the removal.
Not impeachment.
Okay, removal. Okay, maybe it is the nomenclature that is even causing all of the issues that we're having. You will help us break all of that down on the show today. When it was removed, let me use your word. When it was removed as the speaker, immediately we had the reps from Apapa constituency 1, now Right Honorable Lasbat Miranda. She was the deputy speaker. She was sworn in as the speaker. The entire structure was dissolved. All the house committees were dissolved. And then it looks like there's a new era. Lagos produced the first female speaker of the House of Assembly. And then the conversation was coming up. She visited the Governor's Advisory Council, addressed the press. We were there to cover it. We reported and all of that. But since that removal of Obasa, there's been from one political issue to the other in Lagos. Yesterday, it got to the peak of it, where we got wind that the DSS is taking over the official residence and the speaker in the Lagos House of Assembly. Talk to us about what is going on in Lagos, especially with the issue in the Lagos House of Assembly. There are reports that the removed speaker could be brought back. There are also reports that people are angry that the current speaker and the governor are from the same senatorial zone. Talk to us about that, Otumba.
I don't know what people mean by the governor and the speaker are from the same zone. Baba WG is from Lagos Island. Miranda is from Apapa. So I still don't understand why the Apapa and Lagos Island, two different political zones in Lagos. Okay, let's leave that. We had a change of guard in the Lagos State House of Assembly, and we had not 15 to 19 or 17 to 20 or
remember the Nigerian Governors Forum issue under former governor of Plateau State Jonah Jang, where 16 was greater than 19.
Exactly.
That didn't happen.
Exactly. We even have in some places where you have 4 greater than 30 something. So let me not.
Please leave Rivers and Wiki. Let us deal with this one.
But you see, the truth is, we had 36 members of the House. Some of them that were not even there were not in the country that day, and they removed a speaker because it's not constitutional to say a speaker is impeached. You only impeached a governor and
or
a
president.
But after you have given notice to the judiciary to look at all those stuff, so it doesn't apply in the House. In the State Assembly, it's basically first among equals. We sit among ourselves and say, you lead us. The same way we can still sit and say we don't want you anymore. So that happened, and like I said on another platform, I don't have any personal issues with Obasa. As sometimes I wish I had, then I'll be able to hit hard, but no issues, a gentleman. But you see, there are things you do that will tend to reduce your value or equity. The whole climax, the whole thing came to a crescendo on that day of the presentation of the
budget.
2025
appropriation bill.
So that was an issue. So now, the removal took place. Since that day till now, the major thing you have out there is propaganda. Big propaganda. You guys in the media, I'm also in the media.
I know this story will touch us. Yeah, we are all here together.
You guys in the media are cashing out now. Return Obasa.
Is the headline?
You say a headline and you will read the body. No substance. Rumors have it that the president's wife, different things. They are all propaganda. The guy has been removed. Luckily, he was not suspended. He was allowed to return to the House as a member of the which I don't know whether he will take. And he has also done an honorable thing by going to the court. So everything happening now is contempt of court. He has gone to court to challenge, so let the court decide. But you see, the linking of Asiwaju to it, linking of Mrs. Tinubu to it, I don't think it's fair. There might also be sometimes silence. There are some silence that are louder than somebody's noise. So maybe also maybe Mr. President just make a statement and let everything just die down. People are just capitalizing on the silence to raise propaganda, to drop names. You also asked about yesterday. I know that the House invited the DSS. But if I invite you to come and protect me, and you now come to invade me, we need another explanation for that, which in the next few days
we'll get. Okay. Now, we're still on the issue of the removed Obasa. It's not impeached now. There have been talks of ambition. Whether to be governor or not to be governor, whether I want to be governor or don't want to be governor. We've also heard talks that, maybe he's been disrespectful to the governor at different times. Yeah, we saw a couple of, official outings where we know the protocol, and the protocol is very clear. The moment the number one man is seated, once the president is seated, nobody comes in. Once the governor is seated, nobody comes in. We've seen instances where, the governor is seated and then the speaker comes in. We understand those breach of protocols. Then we understand also the statement he made during the presentation of the 2025 appropriation bill, where he said nobody is more qualified than him to govern Lagos that have governed Lagos before. Well, that includes Mr. President, by the way. Do you think all of these drama? I said it is an unscripted drama. It looks like it's a plot that is not properly executed, Otumba. Do you think all of these drama has so much or nothing to do with the governorship conversation of 2027?
Well, assumption is the lowest form of knowledge. So you and I, we're on the level of assumption right now. We're only assuming. But I have a firm belief that if 2027 governorship ambition, if Obasa had governorship ambition, was that the right way to go about it? Because we've seen Ekuforiji, who had governorship ambition as speaker, who went for the primaries and lost out, and that was it. So if Obasa wanted to run for, which of course he denied, said he had not made up his mind. I also hear people say, is it because they want to remove Obasa for Tinubu? I am not a politician. I work with politicians and I'm politically exposed. If Tinubu wants to run, it will not be announced through the backside. But we've not had from any source that is credible. In fact, some of us also know that he's even trying to campaign for one or two people. So it's not it. So nobody can say because of Tinubu then. And I also know that actually Tinubu is close to the Obasa family by virtue of Obasa's father. So they will sit the GAC members in your assembly for about 3 hours or 4 hours, like I had. I wasn't there. We'll continue. We'll recognize the governor later. I had that. A situation where you also passed a bill to the governor to sign that elections in local government will be done in 20 local governments, knowing that the LCDs were created by Tinubu. I mean, you look at all that and you say to yourself, I will say this today. In the heat of the matter, I also tried reaching Mr. Governor, and he said to me, there are no issues. I don't have issues. In fact, yesterday night, I still prayed for him. But like I said on another station, I said, if Mr. Babajide Sanwo-Olu is not the hard man kind of person, very compassionate, very humane, unassuming, will his followers be the same? He has a lot of supporters who are militant in nature. The GSC people have people following them. And all these people have their own eyes and mouths in the assembly. And they might say, enough is enough.
It's enough.
So when you look at all this, it doesn't look to me anything near the governorship ambition. It might just be some infractions, bad advice, because there are some scripts you will see on my side that I'll ask myself, who wrote this script for this man? Is he a friend or an enemy? Except, of course, I've also worked closely with some powerful people who will not listen to you, who will read a script that the way they want it. Maybe we can't blame the person. But I've seen him read a couple of things, like on that same day, and you were bold to say those that live in glass houses shouldn't throw stones. I mean, come on. It's just like NS is telling the Canadian went to hell.
Go to hell.
There are some things you just don't. It's not compatible with the office that you occupy.
That's super interesting, by the way. But again, I will leave this matter. We'll come to developments of Lagos. But have we seen the end of this issue? Otumba, yesterday, there were rumors that the pressure is mounting on Madam Speaker to step down. And just like you also said that the removed speaker had gone to challenge his removal. In my few years, I've been privileged to cover House of Assembly proceedings, and I see how it works. No speaker was voted in as a speaker from the constituency. You were first elected to be a floor member. You were first elected to be a senator. So it's about, amongst us, let us speak that in every classless society, there is always a class. We know that we're all senators, but we need someone to lead every single one of us. What part of the plot are we expecting next? Because last week, news filtered. You can say we are running on propaganda. I will take that. I mean, there's something about being in this phase and in the business. We heard that some House of Assembly members want to write a letter of apology to Mr. President in respect to the fact that, okay, things can be reviewed or done differently. What more plots are we expecting? Like you said, you are a politically exposed person. You're within the ranks and the round of power within the powers that have been in Lagos. Have we seen the end of this thing? Is it by any chance playing out that Obasa would come back as being rumored and then resign so that the blemishes that comes with being removed of the speaker will be wiped off? Do you also think there could still be some twist to the script that is playing out?
Well, anything I say now is personal opinion, and by reason of my observance of the political terrain, and of course, I'm also an intelligent man. So, yesterday, some were carrying, Madam Speaker was crying because the pressure is too much. They said she should go. No, we noticed that Madam Speaker shed tears at the volume of the little I know, or the much I know about President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He is a Democrat. He might, like somebody said, he wasn't informed, he didn't have an idea of the impeachment. Yeah, he might just be saying, oh, why do you guys do this without even informing me? And he got angry. But he will not impose on the members of the House. The Bola Ahmed Tinubu that I know likes the popular person. Someone said 2027 is involved in all this. He will also want to keep his people happy. If we have 38, 39, 36 members of the House of Assembly saying we don't want somebody, they also represent a people and they are going to work in constituencies for him. He will keep them happy. If the court says Obasa should be returned, that's the court. But I don't see this propaganda they are carrying. Obasa will be returned. He will now resign to make it honorable. And they said no, the thing was zoned to West, and every member of the House from the West said we want this woman. So that's how they started propaganda. It's from the same zone with Sanwo-Olu. I'm sorry about Sanwo-Olu is from Lagos Island. He is from Apapa. She's from Apapa. So all these things will play up, and I'm sure it's just some statements from Asiwaju and the tension will be doused. And I think WG SAW and them has been a very loyal servant, in quote, of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. He's been a very loyal boy to him. He's been very loyal, so I'm sure Asiwaju will also not want to. Asiwaju is very loyal to those who are loyal to him.
So it's a loyalty game.
It is.
Okay. Now let's talk about the governor himself. You've spoken glowingly of some of the things he's done in the last 6 years. The time is counting down, whether we like it or not. Lagos would have to bring in another person by 2026 after the primaries to contest for the 2027 election. What would you think will be the lasting legacy of His Excellency Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu? I mean, he came in after the first tenure of Governor Ambode. We knew all of the things that happened, the primaries and all of that. He started off with some form of skepticism. A lot of people were skeptical about his performance, his experience, but it looks like the last 4 years, consolidated with the second term agenda, it looks like, the poll had gone super high. What would you rate as the legacy that this administration will leave for Lagos going forward?
Babajide Sanwo-Olu is a man who, via humility, won even his worst enemies to himself. And in winning them, took up Lagos as if he was in a hurry. That if you do not achieve all these things within 2 terms, something was going to happen to you. The kind of development we've seen in Lagos in the last 6 years is so unprecedented. And in all, you still see, even those who, let me use the word, hated him based on when the process that brought him, based on the circumstances surrounding the removal of Ambode that brought him, he won them over via humility, very unassuming, very, very simple, but very brilliant, very firm, very frank. And there is nothing you will, when you are with Babajide Sanwo-Olu, all he's talking about is we're doing this next. We're doing this next. It's all about development. And we've seen it. Like I just told you. I don't think it's happened. And we're not talking of small roads. Major roads, and every road he has delivered, any of those 30 roads will come with street lights. I mean, it's just a matter of time before, at the risk of sounding somehow, people will know that is about the best governor ever in Lagos, and that's to the pride and joy of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Where every father wants his son to do better. He has done so well. So that humility, that one can be this humble in power, is a legacy that I have learned from, and so many people also talk about.
Okay, I would assume you mean that Governor Babajide Sanwo-Olu's tenure of 8 years will be better than that of the former governor, who is now the president, and the former, super minister, talking about Babatunde Raji Fashola.
President Bola Ahmed Tinubu will be happy and proud that Babajide Sanwo-Olu's tenure should be far better than him, because that is his own testimony that I produced a son who did far better. I'm praying that my children should be far better. So it is only a bad parent that will wish that he's better than his children.
Okay, so let's talk about some of the major challenges that Lagos is facing as we speak. And we've talked about the fact that the security challenge is getting better, yes, especially with the neighborhood watch in Lagos, the community policing structure and all of that. But more than all of those, because we've looked at these challenges, the prospects that we're anticipating will be hinged on some certain indices in terms of development. Going forward, what do you think are the major challenges that Lagos is facing currently, and how do we overcome those challenges?
Because of the influx into Lagos and the rate at which we are churning out even graduates, if you notice, in the last 6 months, there have been so much skill acquisition graduations in Lagos, with the governor himself attended, and they are empowered to start off businesses. So Lagos is creating is breathing a pool of self-employable people whom are being provided with funds and machineries to stand. Standing alone will give the opportunity to also employ other people. So that is going on big time in Lagos right now, and the government can never employ everybody. And again, I said something as we were opening, that the massive infrastructural development in Lagos is making investments coming. You see, the Lagos-Calabar Coastal Road alone, the number of opportunities that it's going to create. So a lot of people are taking advantage of that, and the government also is expanding the frontiers for self-development, self-employment, and the fact that we are now making, we are creating an environment where investments can be protected is also attracting so many investors into Lagos, which is a way to tackle the challenge of unemployment that this growing economy and expanding population is facing, or will face eventually.
Over the weekend, we saw the 10th edition of the Lagos City Marathon, and for one, I was privileged to cover the second edition, the third, the sixth last year and this year. I've done 5 out of 10, and that is a testimony to how big public-private participation can drive economic change in Lagos. Do you think that has helped, or how much more can we key into the potentials of having development? How do you think the government can go about that? You also alluded to the fact that there are more investment opportunities opening up in Lagos every single day. How much more can Lagosians get from such opportunities?
It's endless. If you see, a whole lot of the projects we're talking about in Lagos now are government-private partnership. The Fourth Mainland Bridge is government partnership with the private sector. The seaport, the airport, everything. So that is massive coming in already. And looking at the marathon that you talked about, I now think that, like I said, the Oliver Twist in me is saying, let us look a bit more into the realm of sports. Sports will engage a whole chunk of the jobless youths, and when they excel, massive foreign exchange that comes via sports. I think Nigeria generally, we've not taken advantage of the vast opportunities
that sport presents.
You just see the marathon alone, that's just one. So I think that's one area that we need to look more into.
Okay, now you've made mention of youths, because it looks like that is a constituency that you've really focused on. I see your stuff. I see what you do with Team Nigeria for Change. I see what you do with your magazine as well, the 괶 magazine. We'll also talk about that maybe on the turn of 5 o'clock. But how much more do you think the government of Lagos can tap from the immense potential that the young population of Lagos provides? You can't deny the fact that we've got some amazingly brilliant youth in Lagos here that the government is still not looking to. What do you think this government should do in area of, getting young people on board to help them drive the economy of Lagos?
There's so much Lagos is doing with the youth. So when you say not looking into, I don't agree.
I'm just talking about putting the number that we have side by side some of these commitments.
A lot of those things are coming up. I'll give you an example. There's something we're working on now, which is in every local government, a particular number of young ones. We're bringing in something from outside Nigeria that will take them on AI. On the AI technology, which is the future. So Lagos is already preparing ahead of that. Lagos is digitalizing so much, and if you know the number of young ones that Lagos is sponsoring on scholarships on the tech routes and digital life. So like we also still said earlier, it can be enough, but the march they are doing right now is quite encouraging, and many more. When I was discussing with the guy about the AI, I was amazed. I think it's going to take close to 2,000 young people being trained on AI and
Of the
fully
streets?
funded by the Lagos State government.
Of the streets?
Of the streets. And those are now also train the trainer kind of thing. And we'll move on. So if other states are just, let's say, commensurate with their own earnings, the way Lagos is taking development as if we don't do it, we'll perish. That's just what that's the consciousness. And once we've started, you won't want to stop. Like I said, Lagos is on that auto cruise based on the plans of great men like Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They left for everybody to come in and follow.
How proud of you? How proud are you to be a Lagosian?
Okay. Do I have when you have a place, another place, okay. By reason of state of origin, I'm from Rivers.
I know.
I am a Lagosian to the core because I have given all my life to Lagos, and Lagos have been good to me. If you give to Lagos and Lagos doesn't accept you, you might have reasons to be sad. I've given all my life to Lagos,
And Lagos
have been a
accepted you.
blessing to me. And we're just starting. Myself and Lagos, we're just starting.
So you're proud to be a Lagosian?
I'm proud.
Okay. We're moving off to quickly pay some bills on the turn of 5 o'clock. When we'd come back, I would open the phone lines. We'd also read your messages on Facebook. And we're also streaming on YouTube. You can also drop your comment or put a call through to the studio on 0913-600-0410. I'm already seeing messages right now and calls, but you would have to wait until we come back from our first break. And in case you're just tuning in and you're wondering who I've been speaking with, well, first off, this is the Situation Room live on Mainland 98.3 FM. And my guest today has been the founder of Team Nigeria for Change and the publisher of the very famous Ekomi magazine. I've been speaking with Otumba Best Man Jumbo Nze. You heard that he said he's from Rivers originally, but hey, you don't become a title chief out of your comfort zone and not want to claim that zone. He said he's a proud Lagosian. That was I asked him that, how proud are you to be a Lagosian? And he said he's super proud. But we need to take a break. When we come back, I'll open the phone lines, allow you to speak to my guest, ask your question, and of course read some of the feedbacks that you've given us on our platforms. It is Mainland 98.3 FM, and of course it's been the Situation Room. Stick around, we'll be right back.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Between October 2024 and January 2025, more than 265 lives have been lost to fuel tanker explosions in Nigeria. Guess what? Twice of that number have perished in the last 2 years. In more than half a decade, tragedy had feasted on many human bodies in many Nigerian states in their countless attempts to scoop fuel from overturned tankers. Ask yourself, is it worth the risk? The answer is a resounding no. Scooping fuel from an overturned petrol tanker is not just risky, it is downright suicidal. Petrol, diesel, kerosene, and gas are highly flammable. One spark and disaster strikes. Ignorance or hardship cannot justify putting your own life on the line to stay alive. Whenever you see an overturned tanker or people attempting to scoop fuel, flee immediately or alert the relevant authorities to secure the area and prevent a potential explosion. It is better to stay alive for your loved ones who depend on you than any way being otherwise. Remember, fuel scooping is deadly. Don't take the risk. Stay alive, be alive, and live well.
Chai, my head oh. Oga landlord, why you dey shake like ceiling fan? My village people don't come again oh. This one with your body hot so. You don't do test? Yes, see result o. Oga landlord, no be your village people. Na malaria, you need Luta. Luta na better medicine. We dey knack down malaria. Oya see am, take am. Hey, thank you Oga Luta. I don't dey kampe. Luta, brand of Artemata and Lumefantrine, is another quality product from Hovid, marketed by Pharmatex Nigeria Limited. If symptoms persist after 3 days, see your doctor.
Everybody say thanks, Luta. Malaria's in big trouble.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is your pilot speaking. Today we have some special passengers on board. 3 Betano members are going to England to watch Aston Villa live. Congratulations, Emeka, Yemi, Ibrahim.
Play with Betano and stand a chance to win an all-inclusive trip to the UK to watch live the big game of Aston Villa vs Tottenham. Betano, proud partner of Aston Villa. Play responsibly. Available only to those over the age of 18. The promo is valid from November 1st to February 28th, 2025.
Oga, this your engine don't kaput. After you don't make me repair. See the kind thing we talk. Oga, don't be my fault now. I said we walk. Now your engine no good. Hello, my engine.
My people, una sabi say one way to make sure say una motor and generator engine them work wella na to dey buy ogbonge quality petrol. That na why Dangote Refinery don't find way to refine their petrol to give us ogbonge quality straight run petrol. This na better quality petrol where you fit trust to. Time don't reach to care for una engine them. Buy better quality Dangote petrol.
Hi, Emeka.
Yemi, I learned that Betano is sending 3 football fans to England to watch the big game of Aston Villa vs Tottenham for free. Imagine us going there together. That would be amazing. Okay, bye.
What? He hung up to play.
Play with Betano and stand a chance to win an all-inclusive trip to the UK to watch live the big game of Aston Villa vs Tottenham. Betano, proud partner of Aston Villa. Play responsibly. Available only to those over the age of 18. The promo is valid from November 1st to February 28th, 2025.
Between October 2024 and January 2025, more than 265 lives have been lost to fuel tanker explosions in Nigeria. Guess what? Twice of that number have perished in the last 2 years. In more than half a decade, tragedy had feasted on many human bodies in many Nigerian states in their countless attempts to scoop fuel from overturned tankers. Ask yourself, is it worth the risk? The answer is a resounding no. Scooping fuel from an overturned petrol tanker is not just risky, it is downright suicidal. Petrol, diesel, kerosene, and gas are highly flammable. One spark and disaster strikes. Ignorance or hardship cannot justify putting your own life on the line to stay alive. Whenever you see an overturned tanker or people attempting to scoop fuel, flee immediately or alert the relevant authorities to secure the area and prevent a potential explosion. It is better to stay alive for your loved ones who depend on you than any way being otherwise. Remember, fuel scooping is deadly. Don't take the risk. Stay alive, be alive, and live well.
This message is from Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos.
You're listening to Mainland 98.3 FM. The sound of Lagos.
Pain seems anxious and uncertain. I understand the hardship you face. I wish there were other ways, but there is not. If there were,
in our quest to bring to the table issue-based conversation around nationhood and development, we have made 4 to 5:30 p.m. Monday to Friday the perfect time to welcome you into the Situation Room as we continue to build the narrative about public service and accountability.
Mr. President, this Senate needs to know. Mr. President, this Senate needs to lend its voice to the plight of these people. Mr. President, there is nowhere I can say it except here. This is why I'm elected. If I cannot say these things on this floor, sir, I better resign and leave.
as elections give the citizens the chance to make their political decisions. Constant demand for quality leadership from those they voted into office.
Look at us now, there is nothing. We are starving. Tinubu should please do something.
It's also important to having a Nigeria of everyone's dream. Join Tᴏɪᴛᴛᴇʀ as it takes to task seasoned analysts, opinion makers, business professionals, and politicians on issues around politics, policies, governance, and leadership. Every Monday to Friday from 4 to 5:30 p.m. on your super dial, Mainland 98.3 FM will welcome you roommates as we discuss the situations.
Thank you very much and welcome back. It's my pleasure to have you still being with us on Mainland 98.3 FM. And don't forget that by 5:30 there's going to be the Sunset News on Mainland FM. And by 6 o'clock, I would come back with my guys on Sports Crew to take you through the world of sport. The FA Champions League returns tonight. We've got 8 qualifiers for the Champions League quarterfinal stage already, and 8 more will join between today and tomorrow. Some clubs will want to upturn the bad result in the first leg. All of that and more on the show today, boy. That would be by 6 o'clock. So let's get back into the situation room. Well, if you're joining us, you're just tuning in. We've had a very huge conversation, and I will tell you for a fact that if you've not joined us since 4 o'clock, you've missed. But you can go back to our social media platforms, beginning from facebook.com/mainland 98.3 FM on YouTube to go rewatch these particular program. We're streaming live. And my guest has been the publisher of ᴏᴜᴜᴜ magazine. Well, by the way, the newspaper or the magazine is being distributed for free across all of the 20 local governments and of course the 37 LCDs in Lagos. So it's a magazine that captures the development strides and the social evolution of Lagos in clear pictures and beautiful narratives. So anywhere you find the ᴏᴜᴜᴜ magazine, pick a copy, sit down, relax, and enjoy the beautiful story that is being told about Lagos. So let's get straight up into it. Otumba Best Man Jumbenze is being my guest on the show, and he's also the founder for Team Nigeria for Change. He said he's not a politician, but he has friends that are politicians. We've talked about the evolution of Lagos through the ages today, the challenges and the prospect of a cosmopolitan state that Lagos is trying to build. We've also digressed a little bit to talk about the drama surrounding the removal of the former speaker of the Lagos State House of Assembly, Honorable Mudashiru Obasa. I know you're eager to talk to us, but I'll read your messages on Facebook first, then I'll pick the phone call. 0913-600-0410. My guest is still very much here in the studio. From Facebook, this is coming from Prince Leo Ozoma, and he says, good evening to you and your guests. Lagos is being positioned to be a cosmopolitan city in Nigeria and Africa because it has all it takes to achieve it. But if the truth must be spoken, it is still far from that destination. Democratically, you can't achieve your ambition as an elected officer without being anointed. Lagos can do better without the unnecessary hype. Okay, thank you very much. I really appreciate the speaker. This is from Omobambi Akoni. I really appreciate the speaker. Although there are lots more development that needs to be done in Lagos, especially areas like Ejigbo LCDA. 6 years, the governor only gave us one road, which is yet to be completed, which is really unfair. Please pay attention to us in Ejigbo. That is coming from Ibrahim. Okay, Oloyede Oluwaseun James on Facebook says, one individual is bigger than institutions in Nigeria, and that is the major issue with the Lagos State House of Assembly. Michael Loria says it's a matter of time the speaker would resign from the position. She was crying yesterday not because of the overwhelming support she got, but because she's been told to write a letter of resignation. Okay, Reverend Solomon Jesus Somi says, thank you very much, Otumba, for coming to tell us the true issue here, the true situation of things about Lagos State House of Assembly. And I don't know why some people always like to link the President Tinubu to anything that happens in the country in order to make negative comments about him. God bless your guest and God bless your station. God bless you too. Sunday Noah on Facebook says, it is really correct to say that the Lagos House of Assembly truly appointed Mr. Obasa to be their speaker many years ago without the input and approval of the political heads of Lagos. Why is Obasa refusing his removal? Lights. Why is Obasa refusing to take his removal slightly and move on? Was he not also appointed by the same people that removed him? Okay. Benjamin says, whatever the picture we're trying to paint, Lagos with the growing rate of Agbero, Owomida people, the activities speak bad of Lagos. With Nigeria and Lagos compared with the development, what we are seeing in Lagos is far from the average, to say the least. Augustine Abu Anthony says, nice program, thank you. Obina Livrak Ezefeka says, sound mind, big conversation. Are still taking your messages on Facebook. This one says, good evening and God bless your guest. Whatever it is that anyone thinks about Lagos, Lagos is still the model. Imagine a man from Rivers talking good about Lagos like this, and you think Lagos is not progressing. Let the haters go and hate. Obasa is gone and is not coming back. That is Festus from Ikorodu. See, your messages are plenty on Facebook, but the people on the other side of the phone, I will name if I don't pick their calls. Mr. Tğᴇ, good to have you on the show today.
Yeah, bro, good evening.
You're welcome.
I greet Otumba. Lagos, I thought Lagos want to move from this particular state to another, maybe the more advanced state. You need to do with this issue of miscreants. You know, you move around Lagos, you see beggars everywhere. You look under your bridges, you see people flat under the bridge. You know, if you want to move ahead, if you want to move at all, you need to deal with some of this. You just some kind of just attain your community, your estate, you know, around. Move ahead. You need to move ahead of all this, especially maybe if at all you walk on the island, from there you attend to the mainland. You cover this. You all see people moving into Lagos every day, and nobody to check me them. Of course, we understand that we have freedom of movement, but it is not done. You are coming into Lagos, you don't even have an accommodation. You know, when you are moving into Lagos, you stop them, you question them, where are you going? Nobody stops you from coming here. But where are you going? Because who asked you to come here? What are you coming here for? Let us know. You just move into Lagos and, you know, it's anywhere you see.
Thank you.
You cannot
Thank you very much, Mr. Please, let's make it 1 minute. We have loads of people that are trying to connect with us on the show. Hello, good evening.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening.
You're welcome. Your name and where you calling from? That's Mr. Daniel.
Yeah. Yes, I'm calling from Akbara.
Okay.
So I want to ask your guest about Lagos State. All these miscreants that are on the road. I heard when they asked him good and bad of Lagos State, he asked the good of it. He didn't mention of any bad of it. The miscreants on the road. If you have a flat tire on the road, it's only God will help you. Either you save the amount of money or they rob you. You now carry roads coming on the road, they disturb you, they break windscreen, break side mirrors. What are the Lagos State are doing on this thing? Because even when you come on the road, you see them wearing apron. You see them Ojo local government task force, Agege local government task force, Ikorodu local government task force. Are they coming from the local government really?
Okay, thank you very much. And my guest would respond to that. But let me, Otuma, you respond to some of those. But let me also, try. Let's pick more calls so that we can, put some of the responses together. Hello, good evening.
Good evening.
You're welcome.
Yes, I love your guest this afternoon.
Your name and where you calling from?
I'm Badamosi from Surulere.
Okay.
I love him. Yeah, I want to know whether is he Robo or Joe or Chekiri. I want to know.
He's from Bonny Island.
From Bonny, that's will be a Equere or Joe, whatever. Yeah,
thank you very much. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. Thank you. Otuma, I know you were eager to respond to that last comment. Please, let's do this real quick.
You see, sometimes the way we exaggerate things also is not so good for data capturing, because we all knew that this was happening, but in recent time, when there's a bit of, because when it was, I wanted to know which area, when you are in a particular area where this happens, please let us know. But when you now said, when you see them with apron in Ojo, you see them with apron in Agege, you said, how did he encounter all these things in those areas? Now, if he says Ojo, for example, so it will help us to know, oh, since this kind of things are happening, when someone has a flat tire, miscreants come out, so we'll do what? We'll upscale in those areas. But when you just come because you want to excite your prejudice and you just mention every part of Lagos as if you live in every part. I can tell you there was a time on Third Mainland, it was terrible. But we actually moved in and it became better. Like I said, it did not totally stop. In Shomolu, for example, the Oworojoki, Oremeji, Bariga area, guys are out there checkmating themselves. Don't do this, don't do that. Come to Ogba, Ikeja, go to, in fact, even Mushi, where it used to be very terrible.
Hotbed.
Now it's quite better. I'll show you. But you see, we cannot say it is El Dorado in everywhere. So if you have particular areas where some things are happening, please let us know.
Okay, let's go back to the phone lines. Hello, Prince Wise. Good to have you on the show today.
I'm greeting you, Mr. Paul. Thank you for being Lagos for me, Lagos for you, Lagos for us. Isn't it? Your guest, I'm telling you, he make me feel happy that Lagos belongs to all Nigeria. If somebody is not indigenous of Lagos, can talk good of Lagos, more blessing for him. I will have brought you out to this video, more blessing for you.
Thank you, man.
Now, I want to send him to the governor. I want to appeal. You know, was many a lot of rules being commissioned. I didn't know. But Lagos is there during the night. I want him to, because the way he talk, he can enter allowance governor office without locking the door. So I want to appeal to him. Please tell Mr. Governor, Lagos is we are fighting insecurity. I want Lagos to be secure. Not everywhere, not on every road, not even I'm telling you that part of security.
Thank you.
Please do it for us.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. Prince Wise. He's talking about lighting up Lagos, that there are a lot of dark spots in Lagos at night where, you know, there are no security lights, and that's actually what he's talking about.
As we speak, the Light Up Lagos project is about to commence. Massive Light Up Lagos, which even the House spoke with Mr. Governor last week to please accelerate. Is a project that has been signed that will commence any moment from now.
Okay, so let's read some of your messages. The calls are coming in, the messages are pouring. This one says, good evening, Okpe. God bless your guest. Irrespective of, okay, I already took this message on Facebook. Thank you very much. That's Festus from Ikorodu. This one says, my name is Ayola from Bagada. I like your guest. I've met him before at an event at Ikeja, and he has street credibility. Okay, please, people of Lagos should know that as much as Lagos does not belong to everybody, Lagos belongs to some people. You cannot be a tenant in a state and want to live larger than the owner of that state. Let us all respect ourselves. At the last election in Lagos, my neighbor was attacked because he was voting in, okay, I won't take this part of a message, but I appreciate it. Thank you. Trying to talk about it was attacked because he was voting in an area dominated by another tribe, and because he's not part of that tribe, he was attacked and all of that. I'm sure you know that it's part of the development and the evolution of Lagos. Kawade from Ikotun says, good afternoon to you and to the guest in the studio. Realistically, it's a pity that the former speaker on Obasa is proving politically stubborn to the house which he was removed. The current behavior is more or less bragado to the highest order. The court case is skirmishing political maneuvering to cause legislative process because it thinks legislative process does not have authority over judicial system since the constitution recommended has been followed. EOD. Okay, more messages 0913-600-0410. This one says, your guest is a politician, and that is the fact. Please tell him. Please, the area in Alimosho, 90% of the inner roads are bad, and that is where I live. That is Rahim from Agege. Let me pick your calls. Hello, good evening.
Good evening, Mr. Fuad and your guest there.
Okay, my name is Okpeyemi.
Okay, sorry, Mr. Okpe. I'm not seeing you. When I go through, I listen to you guys that I just make my call. You know, it's not as if I'm an ardent follower, but then I'm gradually depressed. I'm
Thank you.
retiring.
We are winning you over.
Yes. Any?
I said we are winning you over.
Well, yes, that's true, Sha. Echo me or echo everybody. What may I want to ask? Okay, this is Grandma Maggie Odibo speaking from calling from Oshodi.
Okay.
The thing is, I want to ask your guest for all he has said. Okay, let me start from this man, Obasa. He's fighting for the process that took him out. What I want to know, was there a process that made him a speaker before he became a speaker? Because that's what he's fighting about. He's talking about the process. There was a process that got him to be a speaker. Then, but I want to ask him again. What he experienced in the last 2023 election, that both a certain party should not come out. And we think with all the three things he has told us now, should we be expecting that in 2027? That's my question. Though I have some other things I want to ask him, but I'm shy to say it.
Okay. Thank you very much, Madam Maggie, for always being, a regular on the show here. More calls 0913-600-0410. We'll press for time. We would soon say our goodbyes, but my guest is still here. Okay, I got to a bit late. This one says, good evening, Mainland FM. Thank you very much for the conversation around the development of Lagos. Most of the things your guests are saying, we don't even know about them. The information managers of Lagos State Governor should do more so that people will know that the governor is working. I live in Egbeda, and ones and twos, we are seeing tiny development, but the governor can do more. Thank you very much. This is Sunday from Akonwonjo Road, Liasu bus stop. Okay, thank you very much. I'm all calls to pick before we say our goodbyes. Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
You're welcome.
Yeah, my name is Charles calling from Ojo.
Mr. Charles from Ojo.
Yes. Please, I just want you to help me, please. Ask your girls, maybe if you have any idea of the local government chairman of Ojo, because we are really not seeing any development in Ojo local government. Right from the doorstep from the Ojo local government, Alaba Road, you know how Alaba are paying their taxes. No road from Alaba down. In fact, the old local government of Ojo is really suffering. And we have the market over there. We have too many market places in Ojo that are paying money. Yes, that we are suffering no road. If you go in a street in Ojo, I promise you, there is nothing to write home about. Can you please talk to him and maybe he has something to tell us about it?
Okay. So Mr. Charles, I would love a situation where I first appreciate you. See, in matters like this, you've mentioned the area.
Specifics.
Maybe it might not be as bad as you paint, but the fact that you have mentioned the area shows that you are particular, and we'll do investigations. Whatever report I have, I will give to the authorities, and I can assure you that very soon Ojo will see some interventions from the state.
Okay, we'll press for time, Otumba. In a minute or two, Lagos is preparing for the local government elections, and then we've seen the pattern at which it all went in the other states. What are you expecting from the local government election in Lagos, and more importantly, the involvement of the people? Can you speak to the people, the need for them to come out and get involved in electing who governs them, who presides over their affairs, especially at the local government level?
One thing I know, like when they say the ruling party in a state clears the whole local government spots, but I've noticed that in Lagos, even as we speak, Okoyemi, how many other parties do you see on the streets or their posters telling people to come vote for me? Come and vote out this APC chairman and vote for me. I'm from the BBP CCC party. No. It is only the APC that you see in every local government campaigning for both councillor
and for local
government chairman. But I also know that we've seen situations where people from other parties got elected in Lagos.
We have reps members that are not APC.
They are not APC. But you see, much as it happens in Lagos, I won't be surprised if APC clears the whole thing. You know why? APC is the only one campaigning. A lot of other people that even made impacts in other parties are the campaign to APC, defecting to APC. So will you now go and beg the opposition to please come and take this slot when they are not campaigning, when they are not doing
power
anything?
is not served.
It's not served.
You work for it. Okay, thank you very much, Otumba. Of course, there is also the ᴏᴜᴛᴜ magazine that I mean, the commitment conversation about your personal stuff this year. What's going on with you?
I'm good. Remember, you summoned me to be here today, so I've also tried to the hustle and bustle of Nigeria, and this I know how to conserve energy for the work days. By the end of this year, activities for 2027
begins in full-fledged.
Team Nigeria will be fully involved. The local government election we're talking about, I came from going to interview some local government chairman before I got here with my team. So I was only conserving energy for the work days. So I'm back.
You look good, by the way. Thank you so much, Otumba Best Man Jumbo-nze, the founder of Team Nigeria for Change and the publisher of the ᴏᴜᴛᴜ magazine, for honoring our invitation to be on the show today. Big shout out to you also, Michael, for always coming through. By the way, Michael has been a friend of the house and he's been a very, very kind guy. Big shout out to you, by the way. Otumba, I will keep in touch with you and I wish you the very best of everything you wish yourself. Please help us take some of these messages to the right authority so that people can say, oh, we got the message on this show and then we did the right thing. People can call and say, oh, the complaint we made when you brought Otumba, the road is being worked on. Thank you. That is the joy that we get on this part of the divide.
I came here once and somebody mentioned the road and I called the GM of Lagos Public Works, and the same person, I don't know how he got my contact,
reached out to you,
said thank you, they are now on my street.
Absolutely.
So that's why I said it's always very good to let us know where the intervention is needed.
Okay, thank you very much. My name is ᴏᴜᴜᴜ Akin. The next stop by 5:30 is the Sunset News, and I would still come back for Sport Cruise Live on Mainland 98.3 FM. This program returns tomorrow, same time, 4 p.m., same station, Mainland 98.3 FM. Keep talking to us. We are the sound of Lagos. Bye for now.
ọ̀rọ̀ màrè ará àdúgbò wọ́n ti gbá Ṣàmíràndé wọ́n pè yẹn lónìí